You cannot handle this intellect. You cannot handle this intellect.
Welcome once again. This is Tuesday on the Frontline Show with Tyrone Muhammad, College Trust on Intellectual Radio. Go on the live, and then go to IntellectualRadio.com, subscribe and share. We're going to say it again. Subscribe and share IntellectualRadio.com. And listen for live call in 708-223-8953, 708-223-8953. You know we want to hear from y'all. We missed all last week. I was in Springfield doing the people's business and just pretty much just touching our issues and concerns. You got this big budget and stuff coming up that always seem to leave our communities out. Billions of dollars. I don't know. I think it's how many billions is this state? I got somebody go look that up. Devin is on there. Go ahead, look up that. How many billions is the budget for the state of Illinois? And we need to get that number out there because oftentimes our communities are denied resources and they're reallocated or allocated other places. And then we take a lot of cuts in the community, especially with our social programs, as well as any type of training and opportunity for our young folks to get better in life. So yeah, we stay in Springfield now because that's the number one place to be out when, especially during budget season. And when we start talking about the politics, when we see all the white people there, when we see all the Latinos, see all the LGBTQ community there, oftentimes we don't see our community there asking for the resources necessary. For whatever reason, we always complaining about what we don't get. We're always complaining about the schools. But when I see them teachers, them women, they got their children, hundreds of white children, Latino children are roaming the halls talking about, and they're using them as props to say, we need these funds for our children. We need these funds to make sure our programs stay in order. But what you don't see is our black teachers and leaders ushering those children from the inner city down to the Springfield and rolling through them halls to show that our children matter as well. So then that's a problem for us. And we always in need, and we are the most in need, but yet we are the least active for our progress, you know. So with that being said, and I was just saying, here's a person complaining about Trump that didn't even vote.
Wow.
And here's a person, you can't have an opinion about anything if you don't exercise your civic responsibility and duties. Won't you really just shut up and and let life affect you as it has affected you? Because the anger, the vitriol is not going to fix anything if you never show up, you never find a young person to mentor or teach, you never find anything to participate in. So with that being said, Carter, hey, welcome back. And what you see?
What's good? You know, there are so many issues as usual. But the first thing I want to do is I have to give a shout out to my old alma mater, which is Wendell Phillips High School.
Oh, Phillips. That's 39th.
39th Street. Yes, that is where I hail from. Today, we had a street renaming in honor of the Harlem Globetrotters. And how many people know that the Harlem Globetrotters actually originated here in the city of Chicago with some young men from Wendell Phillips High School? So we definitely want to give a shout out to them, as well as Miss Kathy Ali, who was inducted this week into the ISHA Coaches Hall of Fame.
Which group, young men? So, what, do you know their name?
You know what they
don't say, not Curly Neal and none of
no,
them.
No. But there were people before them.
That's what I'm saying.
Yes.
It was like those ones. Yeah.
Yes, I want to give that shout out before I start jaying down on some things that you know I have an issue with. And so, Brother Tyrone, you spoke a moment ago about the disinvestment within our communities, within our schools, with our people. And that is, you know, for me, one of the reasons I changed my allegiance from Democrat to Republican because I was so enraged about what was happening here in the city of Chicago. And I had a chance a couple of days ago to listen to the interview that Mayor Johnson gave down in DC about the migrant crisis. And I have to tell you that as I listened to that interview, I thought I was over being angry. And I listened to some of the answers that he gave to some of the questions. And when he was asked about his stance on immigration and his stance on supporting migrant families over families from his city, his response was, well, we have to take care of everybody. And when they asked him about the disinvestment in the schools, well, we have to take care of everybody. And when they asked him about the disinvestment in the communities, well, we have to take care of everybody. But the fact of the matter is, everybody was not being taken care of. Everybody has not been taken care of. And at the end of the day, we still are not being taken care of. Our children are still not learning, not reading. I don't know if people are paying attention to the report card from CPS. If you have not looked at it as a parent, it is your responsibility. It is your duty to look at the school report cards, or so they have a report card for every school, and then they also have the evaluations of how students within the city of Chicago are performing.
Right.
And when you look at the fact that there is at least 20 schools in the city of Chicago where absolutely not one single child, not one.
Wait, okay. Go, keep finishing.
Is even performing at the average or below average.
Wait, no. Wait, you say 20 schools.
20.
Where each child in the school. Hold on. Not one child
not
in the
one.
school?
And
Do
what
you know the list of these schools?
You know what? It is a published list, and I will.
And then we need to know the principals.
I will bring it in on Thursday.
We want to know the principals. We want to know the list of the schools. We want to know the principals, so that we got a whole governor that said we need to protest and demonstrate on Trump, as though we don't supposed to protest and demonstrate on him. Like, when are we going to protest? So he said this is how we exercise our voice and rights, to protest and demonstrate on Trump, as though he's beyond protest and demonstration in his state. And if these teachers or principals or schools, it may be time to protest and demonstrate on individuals' principals' homes and their houses. Because if you in leadership and our children are failing and you still in leadership, you the problem. It's like you the problem. It's almost the same thing as if you send people to prison and they don't come out better to be better citizens, and you don't track their progress. Is there a report card for reentry? Listen what I'm saying. We just let people.
But Tal, why would there be a program for reentry when the game is to get them back into the system?
Exactly.
So we're not going to keep up with
that. Ain't the game. They not openly saying that's the game.
Well, but you know what
we know that if there's no report card on progress, what you just saying, there's nobody monitoring and no one cares about, and they stand before us and talk about. That's why I can't wait to run for United States Senate and be on the campaign and on the speaking engagement and on the the panels. Because when these ones talk about public safety, then they don't have a check and balance system to get to safety.
But you know what? It's not even about having the panelists, because see, what you have to remember about these panelists is that they're going to be people who are already elected officials who represent various offices. And so one of the things that I want people to be mindful of is that if you have elected officials, and and I'm going to keep reiterating this, who want to move up, who want to upgrade, but you haven't shown us that there was integrity in the position that you held before you decided to upgrade. We can't listen, people.
Right,
We
right. You
can't.
go from one office, fell in our community as a lieutenant governor. Then you got they gonna do I like the response though of the black community. Like you're not giving us no another Kamala Harris, JB. You're not the time for white men putting us up, putting our women in front of us, and putting our men in front of us and said, this is your leader. This is who we're going to give you as a candidate. Without a nomination process, they just, you sit down, I ain't running no more. Well, we going, our party is going circle the wagon around this person. First of all, you're already in office. I really believe there's more qualified people to be in that space than you. And now, therefore, you leave it open for the people to then select who the heck they want to run. So JB Pritzker, you are not the slave master. You are not the slave master of our community, and you're not gonna allow you to keep on mammying our sisters in front of us. And now I'm gonna get some flack for that, but I'm telling you, that's what it looked like. We can't have these billionaires telling us who should be our leaders when they don't even come to our communities in the first place. Go on, Carla. I'll let you talk about it because I say too much as a man.
Well,
I'm mad. I'm misogynist. I'm what's the other word they use? Toxic masculinity, but they're gonna give us some toxic femininity.
Well, I think the fact of the matter is this. I think that we, as Chicagoans, as Illinoisans, as Americans, really have to stand up and say, y'all know what? We done played this game with y'all long enough. And I think that a lot of us are saying it. If this past election taught us nothing else, and even for the people who are so anti-Trump, I need you to understand something, and I want you to really see the writing on the wall, because right now, I want people to think about this. So right now, the big thing that when you turn on CNN and you are listening to people talk about Trump, and let me tell y'all something. Trump is a man just like every other man. I'm not beholden to anybody, but what I want people to be aware of is how the game is being played to enable us in at the polling place. Now, here's the thing. So they asked Trump, how do you feel about the Constitution? And are you going to uphold the Constitution? And his response was, well, I'm not an attorney and I can't really speak to that. And so now when you turn on CNN, it's, well, the big deal is he said that he may not uphold the Constitution. Well, now, y'all, is Trump really the first president to not uphold the Constitution? Is he really? No. Is Trump the first elected official that went against what was written in the Constitution, especially when it comes to Black people? I'm gonna just keep it a buck. See, what I'm saying is, people, don't get lost in the sauce of what people are saying to you, because we've had presidents that disenfranchised us all throughout history, and they all look like Trump. They all look like him, because we only had one that looked like us. Yeah. And I say that to say, people, don't let that little stuff catch y'all up. Yeah, some of the stuff the man say is outlandish, and then he got Elon Musk standing up there, and he a little strange too. And I get all of that, but pay attention to the stuff that's going on. What I need for people to do is, and I see them rallying people to go fight against Social Security, but what you don't hear them talk about is the 972 dead people who have been receiving Social Security checks for years. What they don't talk about is
who those checks go to.
They're going to thieves or family members. Yeah. What they don't talk about is the mismanagement of the monies in Social Security and all of these other agencies, and every single agency that they are looking at right now. There's massive mismanagement in terms of the funds. Now, Do I think that dismantling and getting rid of everybody and doing things all over again is the answer? Absolutely not. But I do think that some of those entities need to be revamped. Look at the Department of Education. Now, we just spent the first 5 minutes of this show talking about how our children are failing and being failed by the adults who are supposed to make sure that they have the things that they need. So now, if the Department of Education is doing what it's supposed to do, then why are so many of our children failing? Why is the cost of higher education so expensive? Why are we having to pay more for mortgage? I mean, for Parent Plus loans than we pay for mortgages. I'm just talking about what I'm talking about now, people. But I'm just saying, hear me. So when we walk around here talking about the dismantling of some of these agencies that are supposed to be working for us but have failed us, don't be so quick to get mad about it, people. What I'm saying is that some of these things need to be changed. Some of these agencies need to be disrupted because some of them are not functioning in a way that's beneficial for the people it's supposed to serve.
We got a caller. Welcome. It's Tyrone Muhammad, College Trust. How are you doing?
Hello.
Who is speaking today?
My name is Atia Williams.
Atia Williams.
Atia Williams.
How you spell that?
You spell it E-T-H-I-A-H.
E-T-H.
God.
E-T-H-I what?
Ethio.
A-H.
Got it.
A-H.
Yeah.
Atia.
Yeah.
How you doing? How can we?
I'm great. How you doing?
We good, and best is we can expect given the crisis of black people in America.
That's right. You know what? I was just listening to that sister talk, and I wanted to call in and touch on that subject.
Okay.
So she was speaking in regards to Trump dismantling Social Security, the Department of Education,
DEI,
Human Services, DEI, and where a lot of people look at the negative in it and the things that it pulls from underprivileged communities. They don't look at the reason those things were set up. Many things were set up during slavery and during the time of slavery, during the time of segregation, and a lot of things like public housing, Social Security, the Department of Human Services, those things were set up to enable Black people, to stop us, to hold us back, to stop us from getting it on our own. And a lot of underprivileged families, although they depend on these needs, it makes them dependent on it. Yep. So it stops them from being able to go out and get it on their own, start it on their own. So I don't think the way Trump is going about it is the best way, but I don't disagree with what he's doing. Like you said, if the education system is not working, change it. It was originally set up in a systematic way to keep us down. The current education system is set up like prisons. They eat the same food. They follow the same bail schedule. Let's be clear.
It's pipelines
so
to
when
prison.
It comes to dismantling it, start it over. Do something new. So I'm not with the way that he's doing it, but I understand.
What I would like to ask and add to what you're saying, sister, is that explain to me and give me a time when any way that they've set up things for our community is good. So when you say I don't like the way that he's doing it, but I can say, because I'm not an apologist for Trump and I don't care about either party. I care about the issues and conditions of our people and how to fix them, right? So I never get caught up in no party politics crap, and that's what they do to us. Here we have as Black people fighting over parties when they don't respect nothing about you anyway, and you won't even be in the room. Most Black people can't be in the room, can't get in the room with either party, let alone and them respecting our vote. But with that being said, I haven't seen the time, sister, in my 54 years of living where the Democratic Party or the Republican Party has done it right.
I have not seen a time that they have done it right either. And I'm interested to see what is come.
Yeah.
So what I will say is, if it's not broke, don't fix it. But it's broke, obviously.
It's broke.
It's
So no matter what we do to it, we are making it probably better than what it is. So if it's broke, if I put temporary fix-a-flat in it,
temporary
fix
see how this change
exactly.
works,
And then if that fix-a-flat hold it till I can get to where I need to go, then I can fix the tire all the way.
We'll get it that day, because currently the systems that we are living and dealing in were systems that were developed to keep us down.
Yeah.
Yes,
Somebody
I agree.
is stepping in and changing these systems, whether it be Democratic or Republic. I'm interested to see where the change goes.
Well, you know what? I believe that it's very impossible for any of them in office to fix our condition when they don't come from the people. That's the only reason why I'm running, because I'm not them. I don't come from them. They're not me. They never know. They don't know what being in prison like, so they can't reform something they really can't understand. They never been in poverty in a way that that lead them to gang activity, crime, and all of the different stuff. A lot of people that's legislating for us and the issues and ills that's facing our country and that we're dealing with across the country don't have a real learned experience. They are all reactionary to what their intellect tells them they should do, without ever bringing the people that's most affected by the conditions to the table to ask them what they want.
Brother Muhammad, I want to leave you with this piece. You are somebody that I definitely would vote for, because I believe in people only understanding from their own perspective. So I completely agree with you. The people that currently hold those seats and are in those offices, they only understand from their perspective of the subject. So if they've never been in the shoes of somebody in poverty, if they've never been in jail, they don't have those lived experiences, and they cannot understand it from that perspective in order to make an effective change.
Thank you, sister, for calling in. We appreciate it.
We appreciate you.
Y'all have a blessed evening.
You as well.
Absolutely.
So people on the outside, Alfred Evans, you in there posting, y'all texting. I want to see y'all calling in. That 708.
Because y'all know we on the air. We can't read. We can't read the post. I mean,
708-223-8953.
but we can't really read and respond to it.
Live call in right now. I don't want to hear it. Y'all all got comments and opinions. We want to hear. The people need to hear from your wisdom. People need to see you all a part of the change we want to see. But that's it, Connor. We can't continue to elect the same people from the same circle. They don't do nothing. It's like politics have become an employment agency for intellectual. And this is what I'm going to say, that I'm going to explain it like this. These people who claim to be smart, whether they go to these college, we're going to get back to this. We're going to see. So they call it and they claim to be smart, and then they don't own businesses. They don't come back and bring hold on, we got a caller. Hey, caller, Tyrone Muhammad, College Trust. How can we help?
Alfred Evans.
What's up, old man?
I'm trying to make it proud of you. I think you are raising issues that need to be raised. Just like I posted, man, about that educational system. That's sad, man. That's sad that no child in these high schools can read nor do math at their level. And we need to have our head checked for allowing that.
Yes, we do.
We really do.
And a parent that allow their children to continue to go to a felon school. A parent can teach their child better on the internet, on YouTube, than they can teach their child in schools.
And let me just say this too, because oftentimes we are putting the onus of education on teachers and educators, and we understand, because I'm an educator, and we understand that is our job. But the first teacher, the first educator is the parent. And I'll be really, really transparent and honest with you. Parents are failing their own children. The failure is happening before they ever make it to the educational system. And so with that being said, we have to collectively, as a community, go back to the village. You see,
and Carter Trust, I agree with you. Our inner structure, we need to start at home. And why we don't do that, I just don't understand.
I know why we don't do it.
But let me say this. If we have to pay taxes and we have to spend money for these school systems and things of that nature, then we are going to have to hold not just the parents, not just the students, but the teachers too. Everybody got to be accountable.
Everybody.
One thing missing in these schools, no discipline. No discipline.
Well, see, here's the thing with discipline, but let me just interrupt you for just a moment. And like I said, because I'm in the school, and here's the thing with the discipline in the schools. You have had the legislators to go back and spend so much time giving rights to children. See, our children have more rights than the parents. You understand what I'm saying? And so we talk about discipline, but our legislators, and this is why we're talking about
a specific type of legislators.
And this is why we're talking about these elected officials. This is why we're talking about some of these House bills that are on the floor currently, because you have legislators who are really sitting down there giving away the rights of parents. You have educators who have more rights over a child than the parent does, and then the child has more rights than the teacher does. And so
we need to get rid of those elected officials, and we need to put in people like Mr. Tyrone Muhammad for Senate.
Absolutely.
And Tyrone, I'd say this to you, man. You have been out here on these streets from what I know about you. You know what I mean? And you have done things to be helpful in the community in many areas. I don't know what kind of resources you get from different governmental agencies.
None.
I said that because I wanted you to answer that.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yeah. So
and I'm really.
If you've done it with no help.
Yeah.
Then why shouldn't we use our vote so that we can spend our tax money to make sure that you get some help?
You know, I'm optimistic about the future of that election because I'm gonna make the ballot regardless. I'm gonna make the ballot, and I'm gonna be on the stage to say, "Thus said the Lord." But this, win or lose, I'm in it to give hope and to inspire hope to our communities that we can't be bought, we can't be regulated, we can't be marginalized. And win or lose, as somebody who actually come from the communities, even prison, then they have the audacity to run for one of the highest office in the land, United States Senate or president, right? And you can't even run for a local office like a committeeman or alderman, even if you're in those communities. I'm running to say that these are, and to point out all the inequities that I wouldn't even get the audience from the media or nowhere to even ever point out that these are the reason our communities are failing. And I'm gonna say this last and let you close it out, to say that parents need parents. It's easy to blame life circumstances and how society had loosened the strings of discipline on parents. When, as Salah said, there's laws and there's liberal views, progressive views that don't even allow you to discipline your own child. But these are the same people that show up in church and they have transformed the Bible, spare the rod, spoil the child type things. They have violated the parent in such a way and then blame the parent for not disciplining and being active and trying to get her son or oftentimes. That's unfortunate, bro, and this is why I do what I do.
I understand.
I have to be the father to every fatherless child. That's my mindset. That's why I love children. I love dogs and children. Grown folks can go to hell. But I love dogs and children because they are the most untarnished, untainted, and they are the most innocent. So when you see these children in these spaces, and then when you see these adults over these children in these spaces, and these legislators over these children and laws, but then they'll legislate for people like a Tyrone Muhammad, who got the greatest effect on a young man's head and can create it and prove it at no limited time, that I can speak to his issues, his condition, his heart, his soul, so that he can understand that he's not in this by himself. They won't even allow me in the school because the objective is not to aid the teachers. My aid, Kyla should be able to teach her children, and any young man or young lady that's unreachable, there has to be an alternative program that say, hey, going on down to see Mr. Muhammad. But then Mr. Muhammad then follows that child from the school to the house, from the school to the blocks. Hey, little folk, now, this little boy here off limits. See, there's no structure that checks the ills and that check the devious in our community. From the time that child comes from the devious of his community his house, to the deviousness from the community, and then the devious of policies and laws that enslaves them and incarcerate them in curriculum, and then back to the house to the same thing with no real love, but just nothing but curriculum. Come on, man. You can't keep talking about it's the parent fault when it's a whole system that doesn't put in steps of progress to help that child win from the womb to the tomb.
Listen, I'm gonna close with this, brother. I know what you're talking about because in the state of Illinois, you can be a pharmacy tech. I could go to something I know something about. You can be a pharmacy tech at 16. So I don't try to advise certain schools to start a program to help those who want to do that. Everybody don't want to do it. Mm-hmm. So and go back, but that's like those trade programs. Those need to be put back in the high school.
Exactly.
I'm sure there's enough black men out here who wouldn't mind teaching that in the high school.
But why, when your unions?
Let me close.
Yes, sir.
We need a senator.
Yes, sir.
That's gonna get the money to pay the black men that want to go and teach those trades in those schools.
That's right.
See, they won't let us get to them kids right now because they're trying to destroy them.
That's it.
That's just my opinion.
I appreciate it.
No, that's the fact. That's a fact.
That's the fact. That's the fact.
Let me say this as I got to go. I'm behind you, Tyrone.
Yes, sir.
All I see is the same old people being recycled around, just like basketball and football coaches.
Yeah.
So they fire them here and hire them there.
You failed there, so we're going to hire you over here to win, huh?
Over here. Yeah. So why not give a person who has been on the pavement trying to help our students, like Mr. Tyrone Muhammad, give him an opportunity? I'm just saying.
Why not? That's rhetorical.
I watch the news and I ain't seen nobody new.
No, you won't see nobody.
Old people talking. I see the same old people want. And there's a saying, I think, isn't that saying? It says that how you gonna get a different result?
Keep doing the same thing. It's insanity.
Definition of insanity.
Yeah, but thank you.
Y'all got a great show.
Thank you,
Carter. And I don't know if you remember me, but I met you down at City Hall one time.
Yes, I do remember you. Thank you so much.
But, thank you. And thank Tyrone. And the people, it has to be a grassroots movement. And you can get this done.
I'm going to get it done.
We're going to try to get it done.
I'm going to give you all. And that's another thing. You said you don't have to talk about winning or losing.
That's right.
You win it to win it.
That's right.
So don't even talk about
winning
and losing.
That's right.
Yeah, you get to win it. So if you going in the game talking about if I lose,
that's right.
I will not play.
Exactly. That's why I say I win no matter what. I'm winning now. I'm winning. No position.
We got a lot of work to do, brother, and I'm with you. Okay.
Love, brother.
Thank
It's
you.
another call coming in. Thank you. Did it? Okay. Welcome to Intellectual Radio. This is Tyrone Muhammad, Cause Trust.
Hey there, how are you?
Hey, who are we speaking?
This is Patricia Tillman. How you doing, my brother?
Hey, Patricia, how you been? Where you been? You been hiding under the rock?
Man, I'm just getting ready to come out. I'm about to run for office too, brother. And June 8th, I'm going to announce the office that I'm running for.
I'm saying, you said you're going to announce the office. It's local, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Congratulations.
listen.
We're glad to have you in the race.
Just like with Trump, Mickey Mouse should run and I support him. It doesn't matter. It's like somebody got to push against, but we can't be crazy as hell either. But I'm talking about all of us. Somebody got to push against the establishment. And win or lose, just the confrontation to confront the powers that be, because they continue to be in the same position with no opposition and no pushback. You got some of these people that don't even get opposed. Nobody even run against them. I want to run the dog catcher against them. In every ward, at every district, it doesn't matter. But see, they can't run. If you keep running under the Democratic or Republican Party, you keep getting the same thing. Because that's why I'm saying, as an independent, now you build something different that's in the middle that then give people an option to go to. But if you're going to run as a Democrat, you might well not run. Because you're not going to get elected. They're not gonna sponsor you. They're not gonna, because you're not their crony, you're not their minion. So you better do something different so that people can understand that this may be an opportunity to select somebody else. And if you're in Chicago and you've been running as a Democrat, probably should run as a Republican. And if you downstate been running as a Republican, you probably should run as a Democrat or independent. See what I mean? I'm only saying, I'm not telling people how to run or how to win. I'm only saying you have to push against the status quo that's been leading you to nowhere. Go ahead, sister.
Or one of us we start a campaign and we run as a Democrat or Republican, and then be true to what we say we're going to do. You
can't be true.
Show the people.
You can't
show the people that some of us are really truthful to what we stand for.
I don't believe in Carter.
See, that's just like now. If you get in the office, you're going to be true to whatever you
absolutely.
say you're going to do.
Absolutely. I'm going to be absolutely. Ain't no question about it.
And they talk about these parents. A lot of these children has been separated from their families by DCFS, right? And it's called modern slavery.
Yeah.
And then you have them telling the parents what they can and cannot do to the children. The children can come in and beat up the parents, and if you don't let them stay there, you're going to jail. If you put your hands on them, you're going to jail. They just want us to stay in a situation where we're saying, yes, master.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I refuse to do so. And it's a lot of times, us as Black people, we be scared to say what they need to hear. We have to stand strong. We have to stand on what we believe in, regardless of what they're saying. You're not going to dictate to me what I'm going to do with my children.
Well, no doubt. So, you can always call on the show and announce it when you get ready.
When you're ready, yeah.
And we also gonna be doing
not only that, you can come in as a guest.
Yeah, once you do that, then you get the people to call in and you're able to talk to them. So when you get ready, let me know. Everybody is welcome on this show to talk about their issues. I don't care who and what you are.
And I'm gonna say this. I ran for alderman. And Krister gave the person that I ran against
$250,000 to run. And at the time, he held on to my clemency.
Yep.
So that was a conflict of interest. He shouldn't have never been in that race.
Well, guess what? You're not gonna get them to do nothing different because they are the law. You got the attorney general that is a party politician. You got all of the things you asking for help from. You going to the devil, asking the devil to help you get out of hell. You can't do it. It almost sounds insane to ever ask your captor to let you go so you can be better. It's not gonna happen. That's why I said what I said in the beginning, sister. If you running, they ain't not gonna nominate you. You just to be a friend.
I went a different route and
Okay.
got my business taken care of.
No.
I no longer have a background.
No, I'm not talking about the background. You know that don't matter to me. I've never gotten an expungement. I don't want no expungement. I know you. I am who I am. Though America hasn't gotten an expungement for slavery. What I want to expungement. They have murdered more people. This country is more responsible than violating human beings and dropping bombs on the head of women and children all over the world. You think I care about an expungement? And God, you can't expunge the God. God is my expungement, not man. They can't listen. Nothing I've done, they have been able to stop me from doing, and my put barriers have stopped me. That's why I be an example for ex-cons to say ain't no stop, ain't no record, no background stopping you from being great, but yourself. Ain't no man gonna stop me from being nothing. Because if they do, the discriminatory practices happen as a result of like for instance, Tyrone won't get the look that somebody coming from college would get with a sociology, psychology, or a criminology. What is criminology degree? But I got all the life experiences to teach them how we act. But I would never get that look from the government because they are so-called pompous individuals who are past judgment on past and backgrounds, and they are worse than the people that they keep in the office.
Come on, they just didn't get caught.
They
just didn't get caught.
We're not acting anymore. We're demanding.
We're
not acting. We're demanding.
Well, Queen, I would suggest to you move and mobilize under something different than what you've been used to doing.
Yes.
Because if you do that, then the people know that you're not trying to be amongst those people, individuals' camps. You're trying to destroy those camps and those things. Because at the end of the day, you have a better chance being winning with it's more grassroots people than it is of these people, Democratic Party. But if you're running under the same moniker, I'm gonna go and pick the moniker that has the most power. That's our people. You running under something that says you present a difference, but then yet you running under the same inequities and running under the same demoralized structure. Hey, the people can't believe you because now we got to make the people see that as clean glass, dirty glass, you represent them. And they still holding on to the same disinvestment, this unity, dysfunctional systems. You trying to keep the system alive. We trying to kill it.
No, I'm gonna kill it.
Okay, I got you.
Well, it's gonna take us all.
It'll take us.
This, it's a group effort.
Well, let's keep
It
on.
definitely is.
Like I told you, I support Mickey Mouse against the structures. And that.
You know, I definitely support you.
Yes, ma'am.
And they can't do anything with you. They can't stop you.
Well, I've seen them stop a lot of men. I'm telling you, I've seen them stop a lot of men when they can identify, point out, target, lie, use their wealth as J.B. Pritzker does to target, to violate, and to slander. Without the people behind and backing this, because we don't spend our nickels and quarters and dimes.
J.B. Pritzker will not have another term.
No, well, he's not running. He's going to be a president. So get ready for Rahm Emanuel. So that's how they already set it up. They watching them. I'm telling you, it's a lot going on, and we're not in a position because we're still trying to be a part of that system. They know without a shadow of a doubt, Tyrone Muhammad is not their Negro. See, they know that with 100% that Tyrone Muhammad is a man and nobody sticking their finger up my butt. They know that without a doubt. And as long as they don't do that, and I'm not laughing where it ain't funny, and you ain't scratching where it don't itch, you are enemy. And I'm not expecting my support to come. I'm expecting my support to come from the hills, from the heavens. Unexpectedly, somebody gonna have enough sense to know that God is here. God is working, and in order, it's the grassroots time. And we got to change it. So get ready, sister, to do something else. I'm telling you, because we calling all calls.
Yes, we are. I got you.
All right, let's talk off record. All right, peace and blessings.
All right, sister, I love y'all.
Love you more.
Love you,
let me tell y'all something. There's going to be a shift. There is a shift
happening.
And it is already beginning to happen, and you're beginning to see it. And I'll talk more about this.
We might be going 2 hours tonight, Wanda.
I wanted to chime in on.
Welcome in. Welcome in, Tyrone Muhammad. Come on in.
How you doing, Mr. Muhammad?
I'm here. Yes, I'm good. And our sister Carter Trust is here as well.
All right. How y'all doing? I just wanted to thank you both for the work you do, and you in particular, Tyrone Muhammad, the leadership and the effort you put in to help the Black community is definitely recognized. And we appreciate you, brother.
Well, thank you, brother, and I'm gonna need your support, bro, because I'm not in this by myself. If it was about Tyrone Muhammad can go make millions off his dispensaries, just be about the business of getting government money for his organization, ECCSC, and doing all the other stuff, construction and stuff that I've been able to do from right out of prison. If it was just about me, I'd be a multimillionaire already. But it ain't about me, bro. It's about organizing, building Black men up and women so that we can have a collective front. I don't care if it's 10, 100, 200. If we show a unified front, if I got a bowl of bean soup and you got and you hungry, you got to share that soup with me. It's like we got to get back to a state in a time where if you suffering, brother, if your rent is due, we doing the doggone house party to pay your rent.
The rent party. Remember
the rent
that?
party.
Yes.
See, that's why our kids are out of order. Because while mama and them and daddy and them are downstairs in the rent party handling business, them babies are up there in that bed 5 deep sleeping there and they ain't saying nothing. They stand in their place. We in a bad state where we allow government to come in our homes and tell us what our kids can and can't do, tell us the gender of our kids when our kids don't even know how to wipe their butt.
Come on.
You can't. We're in a bad situation now where, man, you got white people, white women coming up with terms calling Black men toxic masculinity, and our Black women use that term. They ain't created, bro. But we as Black men don't call our sister toxic femininity. So see the disconnect that the devil try to divide us, and we never get respect for our household. While the white woman, no matter how much she feel about her white man, she vote his interests.
That's it. Black
women don't vote our interests, bro. They get caught up in parties because they've been made and with our protection. We haven't protected them so that they can be free. We haven't protected them so that they don't have to worry about bills and this and that and then not be who they supposed to be because we don't have employment, bro. We are the most unemployed people in the world, Black men, bro. So absolutely. We got a lot, bro. I thank you though, man. Let's get it. Inbox, leave y'all emails, phone numbers, and full names in the inbox, my inbox, so that I can put y'all on our campaign list so we can organize together, so we can figure out some line of unity.
And let me just say that this is not just about the campaign.
That's right.
It's not about just the election, it's about making our communities better. It's about building up our families, because at the end of the day, let me tell you something. If we don't begin to deal with Black families, if we don't begin to deal with mothers, fathers, and children collectively, We are never going to get out of this humdrum that we are currently finding ourselves in. Let me tell you something. When we talk about the village, that means that everybody has to get involved. It is all hands on deck. No more of that. I got mine, you got to get yours, because that was the philosophy that has come along and has basically destroyed our families. And so, see, what I'm saying is, Grandma, you got to come out the club and go home and help your baby girl with those children. Auntie, you can't go off to on your own anymore. You got to come back and deal with nieces and nephews, brothers and sisters. Listen. It's all hands on deck now. So regardless of what happens with this campaign, it is time for us to begin going into communities and building communities collectively again. No more will we be allowing people to dictate our outcomes for us. At what point does that stop?
Yes, sir. Yeah. Thank you, brother, for calling in. All right. Y'all know y'all know the drill. 708-223-8953. 708-223-8953. Y'all heard auntie, grandmama, and sisters and wives and girlfriends. Time to stop shaking your butt with your daughter. So come on up out them clubs. But it's real. You can say what I can't say, and that's why it's good to because sometimes we get offended, often when somebody, men say so, or a woman, we got egos. So when women tell us something, we kind of push against it. Even when grandmama telling us the truth, we as little boys still act like mama didn't know what she was talking about. And we shake against that because sometimes it's just our nature. Human beings have a nature. Men have a nature. Women have a nature. And oftentimes we are so far out of our nature, Carter, that ain't no real pull up because they made it that way where evil is fair seeming.
Yes.
Negative is positive. Positive is viewed as a negative. And anybody that's see the crucifix, when black men and ex-cons see the government crucify Tyrone Muhammad, them same gangsters, so-called killers and thugs that made it through prison, they shut up, they sit on the sideline and they be quiet. Because they scared to be crucified. These people talk about living, and crucifixion don't necessarily mean dead or put on a cross or hung. Crucified means that in the eyesight of public opinion, a lot of people care about lies and rumors. They care about what people say about them. That's why I came straight out of prison, understanding that my background was going to be a barrier to my reentry and my voice. So I came out and said, I'm an ex-con. Ha ha. Nah, 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 nah. I got you. You can't say nothing about my background that I haven't myself revealed. It's like coming out the closet, y'all. And you can't call him gay. He said he was gay. It's no ridicule of that man for saying that, or that woman. Now you got an elephant out the room. I'm ex-con. Our own people, ex-felons, I knew that and studied it from every aspect. Ex-cons are the only class and caste of individuals that's perpetually discriminated by everybody. I'm going to say it again. Ex-cons are the only caste that's perpetually discriminated by everybody. Here we are as black people. They prosecuted Trump. And one of the number one lines for black people when it came to vote, he's a criminal. He's a convict. Without even understanding and knowing that this is how they feel by their uncles, their cousins, their boyfriends, their sneaky leaks, everybody. They are looking at your convicted status as a scarlet letter.
Yes.
You might well call him a prostitute. You might well that's the new That's the new prostitute thing, where that used to be the highest thing, not even a murderer. Just coming out of prison, it don't even matter if you served your debt to society. The Constitution is not real in America. Because if the Constitution gives you a jury of your peers or the judge sentenced you to a time and he determined that this amount of time has been deemed acceptable to pay your penance for your crime, society then says, no, we're going to keep persecuting you no matter how much you do. I mean, we as an organization, ECCSC, we stopped thousands of shootings. We mentor hundreds of little boys and girls. I've personally put over 400 ex-cons to work. Personally. More than the government, probably in Chicago. More than City Hall in Chicago. And currently, we've structured and started businesses for ex-felons. And currently, I hire over 50 people right now myself. That means taxes is being paid. Yep. That goes to fix and do things for society. Women and children are being fed as a result of what we do. And I just gave the government a bunch of money in taxes on my business.
Wow.
Yet I can't get $1 of my own tax money to serve black people.
That's
and y'all
crazy.
Want to keep voting for these same devils, because I represent a black man. I represent an affront to a system that has violated, and I've never asked the government for nothing.
And you have to be clear about the fact that because you have self-sufficiently carried that load, you are a threat.
Absolutely.
You are a threat. You are a threat because you have been able to do what organizations that are receiving millions of dollars have not been able to do. And you've been not only able to do that as a black man, but also as an ex-con. Do you not understand that you are an anomaly? Yeah. Do you not understand that you are not the norm? Do you not understand that you are a threat to everything that has been put in place to keep us down, to keep us marginally behind, to keep us from growing, to keep us from evolving, to keep us from coming out of this system that we've become accustomed to allowing to control us? You are the one person who shines the light on the fact that the way that society has told us that has to go is not necessarily factual. You see.
I wish, Carter, I had the capacity to quit. I wish the universe done choose me, right? I wish I was like everybody else. Y'all go home every day and not worry about the issues and ills of happening in the communities. Like I don't sleep because any woman that's raped, robbed, carjacked, home invasion, child that's murdered, women, children murdered, it hurts me deeply. And I wish I didn't have the ability. That's why I often, to a point, I hate black people so much that I love them to death. I don't even know what that means. Like, I can't even understand that, right? Like, we watch stuff. Just the number of people who pull up every day and have seen or heard of some stuff I've done. Hey, good job, Muhammad. Never show up, ever. Never support, ever. Not $5. They give it to Baba's and the liquor store and Duce. Yet they often have all the complaint in the world. And they never participate, not in our organization. They just never participate in nothing. Yet we always are opinionated about everything. So I just say that to say that it's almost like you fight to ultimately it's like that there's an inevitable end to a fight. Like ain't never a time in my mind that I'm not thinking deep about eternity or some stuff. Because nobody's gonna be here forever. And I always see, and it's like, and I look at these men that have come before us that I use as examples, and used to say, how, man, could we see such greatness in them men and not circumambulate around them with protections, to not allow the police to kill a Fred Hampton in Chicago, and this city ain't still on fire. I can't understand that, right? So I'm such a type of person that I could die tomorrow because ain't no anybody gonna roll up on me and tell me to do nothing. I'm gonna die on the scene. That's why you gotta have, like, you ain't gonna let you make a mistake. Is what I'm saying. You ain't gonna make a mistake and do that. You gonna know what you coming to get when you touch somebody like me. And I know where I'm going when you touch somebody like me. So I'm no cry for me. We gotta figure out where our courage come from.
Yeah.
Because if all of us, if there's a stance against the inequities, that means nobody can touch a hair on his head, her head, their head, without the community responding a certain way. It's supposed to burn this city up, man. Every time you burn, you violate anybody in our community without a check and a balance, without redress. We supposed to be, as black men, we supposed to roll over every community when black women and children are being murdered. And we looking for the government. Brandon ain't gonna go out there. JB ain't gonna go out there. And they ain't gonna give us what we need to go out there.
And they're not gonna give us
we
the
gotta
resources.
unify in a way that allows us to, I don't care if we do shifts. Somebody got to be made an example out of to say, them black men ain't playing. If I know, if it's there, I'm not doing nothing when I know I can be the one that they roll on and put in the basement some damn well and beat to death for violating women and children out here and make an example out of. And it don't change and stop there. I'm going to get off and give it to you, but it don't stop there. You can't set up businesses in our community no more if a portion of the proceeds from your gas stations, your restaurants, and your businesses don't go to our community to fix the issues and ills you exploited.
That part.
You ain't gonna stay here and lay here. See, this is what they don't want to hear on the campaign trail. Or on stage, because they can't deal with this, because everything is politically correct for them, which I'm not a politician, I'm the people. So I'm going to be speaking in a matter-of-fact way about what you better do and what we ain't going to keep accepting.
And I think that, I'm glad you said that, Tyrone, because I think that we really have to begin taking politics out of the issues that are plaguing our communities and our neighborhoods, because at the end of the day, this isn't about politics, it's about people. And it's about the people getting involved. It's about the people taking a stand. It's about the people rising up and basically saying, this is what we want, this is what we don't want, this is what we're going to take, this is what we ain't going to take, this is what you're going to do, this is what you're not going to do. We must not allow people to continue to come into our neighborhoods, to take resources out of our communities, to take monies out of our communities and not be accountable for that. At what point do we stop and say, some of these grocery stores need to be owned by us. Some of these gas stations need to be owned by us. Some of these liquor stores need to be owned by us. And not that I condone any of those things, but what I am saying is if because we drink, okay? We like to have our marijuana and our different paraphernalia from the different dispensaries. So we should be owning these things in our communities. And when these businesses are coming to our communities and they're not owned by us, then they need to leave a percentage. We need to demand and start requiring. Because here's the thing, people, and I say this all the time. Black people are the biggest consumers in this country. We spend the most money and save the less. We have the less in our bank accounts. We own the less in property, but we have the most stuff. So since y'all gonna buy stuff,
own it.
make them leave something here. That's all I'm saying. It's time out for us giving our money to these different people and nothing comes back. See, what people fail to understand is that most of these people who are not from here, who own businesses in your community, my community, their money does not stay here in this country. No. We ain't even going to talk about it staying in your community. It doesn't even stay in this country. They send their money home. You understand?
Well,
so at what point are we going to stop and say, you know what? Enough is enough. And I have to reiterate this point as well. How many communities do we even have? You want to have a real conversation, people?
7 to 8.
Citizens of Chicago.
7 to 8.
No, we don't even have communities anymore. We got some blocks.
We got neighbors. We don't even have.
We don't have communities. We have blocks.
Yeah,
that's what we have because there are no areas where it is just us. So and we've given it all up. Yeah. And so I say that at some point we have got to begin being realistic about the things that are affecting us, the things that are plaguing us, and the things that are holding us back. And we have to be accepting of our role in that. And so in this upcoming political season, I'm going to leave you with this because our time is almost up.
It's up.
Okay, but I'm going to leave you with this.
Been nice.
Y'all listen. Illinois, Chicago. We can't reelect Rahm to nothing. Do y'all hear me?
Do you hear her?
Do you hear me? Now,
this man raised $10 million
in 48 hours.
We can't raise $1
in 48 hours. So he's getting ready to run for something. And I'm saying, Illinoisans, Chicagoans, don't be no fool. When a person shows you who they are, believe them. Rahm has shown us who he is.
So have JB.
And so has JB. Believe them. We've seen, they've shown us what they feel about us. We need to show them how we feel about them. And on that note.
Well, this is Intellectual Radio, and this is the Frontline Show with Tyrone Muhammad and Carter Trust. We'll be back on Thursday. Same bat.
And I will have those lists of high schools.
And them lists of high schools. And
the
get
names
ready.
Of the
Stay tuned, all of y'all. We got a campaign office party coming up. Campaign office lunch party coming up within the next week or so. We're going to get it ready. And we're going to have a lot of food, games, and entertainment. Free food, free barbecue. I think we could hold 300 to 400 people. So we got a nice location, and it's about the community. and we're gonna show everybody that this is how the senator actually supposed to be intertwined with the people in the community, and that needs to happen all over the state and all in our neighborhoods. But we're about to launch it off, and we're not taking no prisoners, and get out our way because we coming. So thank y'all for tuning in. This is Intellectual Radio. Subscribe and share. Go over there and subscribe and share. Frontline Show with Tyrone Muhammad Carter Trust. Y'all take care.
Good night.
The views expressed on this program are not those of IntellectualRadio.com, its subsidiaries, or sponsors.